Hello and welcome to ShipTalk Podcast. I'm your host, Dewan Ahmed. In ShipTalk Podcast, we talk about the ins and outs, ups and downs of software delivery. And today, I'm super excited to have Evgeny with us, former software engineering manager at Tesla and founder of GuidedMind.ai. He's also a RAG enthusiast, and we'll talk more about that later.
Thank you for having me. Hey, Devon, hi, everyone.
Yes, I mean, RAG, neural networks, AI, like these are the things everyone is trying to learn and get excited about. But I'm sure like your journey didn't start here. Your journey started somewhere that might be very different from how things are in the current world. So could you please share with us where your
Yeah,
journey started and what led you to become a founder of Gilded Mind, a RAG consultant?
absolutely. Yeah, totally. Yeah, my journey started many years ago. I think more than 20 years ago in IT world. So I started my career as a .NET engineer. Then it was not the obvious like decision to switch to SAP, and I became a business consultant, help businesses to build their, business processes. And yeah, I spent big part of my career as a SAP engineer, SAP business consultant. Working in big enterprises like Mars, PepsiCo, and after that, I decided to make like another move to San Francisco, to United States, and continue my career here. So I work in small startups first, and then at Tesla. Last 6 years of my career I spent at Tesla and grew there from senior engineer to tech lead. And now I decided that it's time to do like another move and start my own startup. And primary reason is we live in completely different world right now. Like you said, things are completely different from many perspective and stack perspective as well. So previously we built software, now we build AI agents, and I consider it's like a big shift in technology, as I believe many people think in the same way.
Yeah, I have two follow-up questions or related questions to you. First question is, what drew you from enterprise architecture and traditional software development to agentic AI development? And the other thing is, do you see a lot of similarities like the lessons we learned in the last 3 decades of, let's say, traditional software development and how people are building agentic AI? What are the things we still hold true?
Yeah, so let me like uh, talk about this from next perspective. My belief is what we build like from the like IT perspective, right? Software perspective. We build kind of tools which communicate with us, right? So, and communication happened on the information level. So basically, all we do, whatever it will be, like ask questions to get some information or do some actions to change like our environment and still get some information from that software engineering tool. So previously we were significantly limited because we built precise processes, like, I mean, deterministic systems, right? When each step we hard code in our solution, in our software, and software precisely go from one step to another. And how many like different roadmaps or like different paths you can hard code this way? So probably it's like a limited amount of like a limited number of those paths. Now what's really changed, because we start to work first with big data, right? Next, we start to look how we can apply logic on top of it, and basically what happened with large language models. We basically like have some data and put some weights on top of it to which like basically from my perspective represents some logic because we know what's next token will be depends on those weights, right? And now we deal with completely different world, right? So when we hardcode logic in the huge scale, basically. So we not build this deterministic system, but we say, oh, okay, it's like many paths right now. So like a lot of them. And first, like when I heard about this technology, I think, wow, it's exciting. So it's like so many possibilities, so many like opportunities like to build new kind of things with it. And Yeah, so that was my first aha moment, right? So why I decided to like I really enjoyed to learn new things. It was like one of the reason why I decided to go to IT because it's so many different things going on with computer. It's like world constantly changing and you constantly need to learn something new. So here it's exactly the same reason why I decided to do this shift in my career. And yeah, so maybe I'm ready to next question.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned about the shift, right? Like how technology was changing, and then it excited you to make this move. But were there moments in the last, let's say, few years when you thought, oh, like these are the things I spent 2 decades of doing, and they still hold true, like the way we build software, like the enterprise software architecture. Some of them are still valid in how we do agentic AI development. What would be those commonalities?
Yes. So my understanding that this new technology, like first, I believe everyone will look at this and think, "Wow, that's magic, right?" So you basically can ask anything, put in your query, and it always will have some answer. And in 80% or maybe 90% of time, it's like makes sense, something. Like really like relates to your question, etc. But at some point we realized that actually this is not just like a magic box, right? So it's not something like it's definitely has some kind of intelligence, but still at the same time new kind of limitations. And that's how it's different from the like previous approach, right? So what we built in our software, we hardcode some kind of intelligence in our IT solutions, and we know exactly what this intelligence is. Here it's kind of like a new way to do things, and we know about hallucinations, we know about other limitations from AI agents. And what's common still, again, it's all those paths roadmaps still hard coded. So it's like if, like for example, in LLM you put temperature to 0, right? So you know that it will be more precise than with temperature like close to like 1 or like 100%, right? So it will give model less opportunity to like indent some new paths, but follow exactly ways what's hard coded. And this is similarity from my perspective. This is how this still should be considered as a like regular software, just with too many parameters, too many conditions.
Yeah, and I know we're chatting before the call where you're mentioning retrieval is the real mo bottleneck, like not the model itself. And you're referencing a paper. Would you like to highlight more on why you think retrieval is the real bottleneck?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, by the way, not my paper. I just admire what Anthropic company working on, and one of the research relates to contextual retrieval. And contextual retrieval is different from regular retrieval because they at some point realize that we always try to find like something like using similarity search, which close enough to our query or topic we're working on. But at the same time, this technology has limitations, which is it's not exact match. So it's if you like search some specific number or like keyword from your knowledge domain, so it will be more limited. So it might return you data which is not properly ranked, or if system built in a way that it will be just like, like top three results. So you might even lose most important information, even if it exists in your context, right, in your storage. So and that's why they build kind of like two kind of search in one, right? So they use BM25 and semantic search together. So and after this, rank it to get better results. This is, I think, a perfect example why like we should consider that context is important. Like if big companies try to build this kind of complicated approaches, and they not just build this contextual retrieval approach, but they build, I believe, many more things to improve results in search. They accomplish like a leader position in the industry because of that. So, and I think it's good demonstration why context is most important part of AI agents, because it's not a magic box. We need to be precise. We need to understand this new tech stack, and don't think about like that something magically will happen with your AI agent if you just like put things together, like tooling, RAG, LLM, etc., and it will magically work. No, it's not. It will not. So it will be still a messy thing, and we need to be precise from engineering perspective and figure out how to use each block.
Yeah, talking about magic not working, I know a lot of people are familiar with my model is hallucinating. Like I'm not getting an answer. And you mentioned that the hallucination starts at the retrieval layer mostly. Could you please expand more on that in practical terms? Maybe folks who are not that much deep into the rack space or even, let's say, AI space, how they understand the issue with hallucination and how it originates in the retrieval layer.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, let me start from my vision and understanding of this problem. So when we talk about retrieval, we are talking about vector space, right? So it's like a huge vector space with many, many dimensions. So it might be 3,000, also even more. And that's the reason why LLM and retrieval process like so efficient, because it's because of this is like all dimensions represent some nuances about your topic. So vector not just like know one thing, but it give you like a lot of context about this thing as well. But what will happen if you, let's say, train your model, and you can imagine this vector space, but some areas are completely dark, right? So it's like just few vectors there, or like even not in anything close to that area. And when we have this discussion, we have query, our intent in that discussion, we might reach this specific area. And that will be a problem because for LLM, we actually, I believe, don't know how it will work. So, but we can guess, right? So that it try to reach this area and try to find any vector which is close to that area, like even if it's like not close enough. And that what hallucination is about. So we think that LLM connect dots together correctly, but it's not. So it's just pick the most like closest vector and predict token in the wrong direction. But if chain is keep going, so from that point we start to see that hallucinations start to like be like a dream, right? So in like not close to our reality, because from that point LLMs start to go in the completely wrong direction. And this is a problem because we don't control it. So retrieval tools like RAG can help with this. So it can cover this black area with some context and fix LLM. So it will not go to the wrong direction. Instead, it will use context to not focus on this specific dark area I'm not familiar with, but focus on something else based on the context.
Is this similar to like an auditing layer for retrieval? Because typically we test our code, we test our APIs, we even test our pipelines. So are we able to test what we're getting from retrieval? Is there some sort of like an auditing layer?
Yeah, for retrieval, actually, what in Guided Mind we built is, and for I believe like for vector databases, right? So in general, we have similarity score, right? So we can retrieve something and we see how close that vector, that two vectors to each other, right? So your intent and your context you found. So we'll have some kind of score how close they to each other, and you can filter by it, basically filter all irrelevant vectors, so like chunks from results. That's the main idea. So that's how we actually how this tool is more efficient than just LLM when you like train your data and it's kind of a black box. So like if you talking about operation process, right? How we like work with LLMs, we cannot look inside. That's the problem. So with RAG, we fix this problem.
And just like there's like different types of model, there's just like not one model. There's also different types of RAG, like agentic RAG or graph RAG. And many people, they are not aware of these different types and where to fit which one. Would you mind sharing like the different types and where each fits?
Yeah, absolutely. So we today, again, it's like a good sign that this area is growing rapidly. We have different kind of racks. So we have graph rack, we have agentic rack. And all those like variations show up for reason, right? Because we do some kind of experiments with this technology. We start to understand, oh, retrieval might be even better, right? So from some perspective. Let's talk about, for example, GraphRag, right? So with Graph, you search not only using semantic search, but also you have dependencies. Your nodes and edges are connected with each other, and you can go through this tree if you want to find related nodes, right? So if you do this semantic search, right, and find one node, you might focus on this node if it's super relevant to your intent and go deeper. So let's say I need not just this one node, but give me five related to it, etc. So here we start to talk about some kind of logic, right? So how data like linked together, and we might not return to LLM and argument it with just this related one node, but we can like grab 5, 10 more, combine them together, summarize, and now LLM will have much more context about this topic and what relevant to it. If we think about, for example, coding, right? So I think in this channel, like many people are familiar with software engineering and do daily coding. So you can think about like your code base. In code base, you have not just one file with some class in it, but also what code blocks use this class, right? So that's super important because now you know all use cases and give LM more context how this function might be used.
Yeah, and that brings me to the paper as well, and that because you were mentioning about software development, and a lot of our audience they're familiar with the usual like you have a code base, you're building, you're testing pipelines, And the Anthropic paper shows that the retrieval improves when chunks carry system level context. How do you think how important is that idea for use cases like code bases, CI/CD pipelines, or incident response workflows?
Yeah, again, like I said, if we familiar with our context and efficiently provide it as part of our request to LLM, you'll be efficient with tokens. You'll be efficient with context window as well because you might return from this like again coding agent perspective you might return just list of I don't know 20 files and basically pollute your context window with this information, making LLM like confuse what's important in this request and what's not. Or you might be precise, like we need to build something with this function, and here's example how you can use it. So that's like if it will be properly summarized, LLM like very efficient with this and put as a context for your request. Now your coding agent will be much more efficient with how to process it.
And you have been at the forefront of building production-ready systems, whether it's for software engineering teams, whether it's for in the AI space. So what does it mean when moving away from toy demos to production-ready retrieval? How does that look in reality?
Yeah, so properties, from my understanding, is when you go through uh, loops and try to find issues in your system, like basically testing and debugging it, you start to realize that your initial approach or design of this tool might be not good enough. So, for example, you might find that if we talk about AI agents, that we spent a lot of money for storing our chunks, right? So in vector database. So not all information like at the same level important when we use this AI agent. So now we can talk about different kind of optimization. Some files or information you stored should be summarized. Some might be even have vectors with low number of dimensions, right? Because we don't need, all those nuances about this part of context. So this all will increase complexity. So for retrieval, and if you do it manually, that might be like a nightmare. So that's why it's important to have right tools for this. Like for example, if we talk about RAG as a service, so you have you like operate on the next level of abstraction, right? So you have settings for all those different configurations you need. And you can do it like faster. You might experiment faster. And I think for AI agents, that's this kind of experiment part is the most important. As actually for any other software as well. So when you build production ready systems, you need to iterate faster. Than more you do this, like more like better result you will accomplish.
So you mentioned about RAG as a service or RAG as a platform. So what pain points led you to start GuidedMind.ai?
Yeah. From my perspective, RAG is a perfect example of how we engineer things. Like it's a design pattern first, and you might think about just like three steps: retrieval, augmented, and generation. But in reality, each step, needs more subtasks, right? And For example, when we upload our data and embed it, right? So we need to think about some kind of pre-processing. So this is what probably data analysts and scientists are pretty well aware about, like data pipelines that you need like first look at your data, figure out what polluted it, right? Try to remove it, and then only you can use it for some kind of analytics procedures. So for RAG it's the same. So you have pre-processing. So you need to look at your data. It might be tables, it might be images in your PDF file, it might be some other like charts, things in your PDF. So you need to sorry have these tools to uh, break things apart. So be precise that if it's just text in PDF, that one thing. If we have some blocks like charts and tables that need to be extracted somehow, and that make things more complicated. So from again data perspective, we have OCR tool to extract images and maybe replace it with some text information, what this image was about. We might process differently spreadsheets, files, different text formats. Coding also might need some kind of precise formatting changes. And preprocessing is just like, or parsing is just one part. Next part will be chunking, right? So for chunking, we can just think about chunking. Oh, okay, we have just chunk size, some overlap between them to again to build kind of connection between chunks and ordering. But if it will be like paragraphs, so rows in table, so what you're supposed to do with this? So now you need to build some kind of different approach, right? So and like even just like different file format might break whole your system basically. You like not supported it before, you now need to rebuild many things. And embedding as well. So embedding might be like we have different embedding models. They have different encoding, decoding process, different dimensions. Vectors might be different dimensions. So they might just not be precise with all those nuances, right? So for your topic. So all this is just like how we store data, right? So and if we properly did this, right, so retrieval will be good. So if not, it might be completely disaster. So your chunks will be irrelevant, or it might be cut it. Assume one paragraph might be cut it in the middle, and most important information actually will be missing in your chunk. So that's why retrieval might be complicated.
And then we understand that you don't build a platform overnight. Like it took probably weeks and months to come to building this platform. What were some early prototypes when you were building like a RAG as a service platform?
Early prototypes, I think first we do some experiments. So I did it as well. And for me, early prototype, when I had this again aha moment, was I did some experiments with LLM. So I looked to what again Anthropic accomplished and think how they did it. So I find very interesting kind of. Article about that when I forgot about sorry author of this article, but what basically this guy did is he just put all your code base to one text file and created embeddings on top of it. And you start to use Llama, or like back in time, like 1 year ago, it was super popular, and maybe still for now. But some kind of small model which you can run locally on your machine with 8 billion parameters. And you start to see that it starts to operate on completely different level because now the same model, but familiar with your context, can do some kind of magic. So, and you can see clearly, oh, that's really start to be much closer to what cloud LLMs are capable to do. And all things what change is context. That's why I decided, okay, so RAG definitely part of this magic. So we need to be like precise with retrieval, and that will help a lot.
And is this why you think that companies need retrieval observability before they try to fine-tune their models?
I believe companies definitely need to pay more attention. So because now, if you, for example, if you look to some tools building and focusing on different things, for example, end-to-end, so they focusing on workflow automation, and they have RAG as well. But they don't have this kind of precision how you can configure it. So they just focus on workflows, and other companies, I believe, do the same. So if you look all those like different articles, tutorials, how people build AI agents, they not cover that topic much. So they focusing more about tooling, other things, memory, but context is critical. So I think if you want to build really powerful AI agent, so you need to look not just like trust me, trust Anthropic, so look what they accomplished and see what they are actually doing. So what they are focusing on, and they focusing on context a lot, from my understanding.
I love that you mentioned about trust because that's a nice segue to our final segment where we talk about the future of agents and retrieval. So, what needs to happen to the AI agents? I guess uh, how can AI agents can become more trustworthy for mission critical workflows? And we understand that a lot of companies they're investing in sort of their pilot projects or POC projects to test waters. But then for
Mhm.
mission critical workflows, what needs to be true for these AI agents?
I think this whole industry at some point will be much more mature. So we'll have better tools open for everyone. So people will start to see not what ChatGPT or Claude accomplished, right? So because it's kind of a black box. So they do a lot of like extra steps and consider it's kind of like secrets for their companies for now because it's clear how they like accomplish good results and how they don't want rest of the market to compete with them. So they clearly not tell us everything. But at some point, all those hidden details will be publicly available. We'll build more tools like RAG as a service, for example, which will give us opportunity to build those agents faster and more reliable. So context, if you will be capable to properly test it, debug it. Eventually it will give you uh, opportunity to not just iterate faster, but build the agents more reliable because now they will be like we basically will start to understand more. So
And do you think RAG will ever be as standardized as CI/CD or monitoring?
I believe so. So it may be not in this shape what we have right now. But it definitely will be part of um, tech stack or design pattern, which people will frequently use. And it might be like, some new or abstraction on top of it or different kind of frameworks, LangChain, for example, right? So, but yeah, it's from my perspective, it will be something like I don't know, relational databases, so something like this.
One other thing I'd like to hear from you is suggestions to companies, whether they're building their own AI agents or they're adopting AI in their company. What would be your suggestion to their leadership? What do they need to be careful of?
I think now because these rapid changes and we are basically all in some kind of rush to do things faster, more efficient, etc. So we have the same issue what we had before with building software, we basically try to release faster and we return buggy product into not production ready product. Uh, I think like people who like working on that product, so they clearly understand it and clearly understand reasons why this is happening. And now we don't have an exception. So with AI agents, it will be the same, but in reality, we just need to focus on small things more. So we like with, for example, if we work with some context, let's focus on your data pipeline, try to not skip some important blocks because eventually our whole system will fall apart because in production because your chunks will be relevant, so your context will be relevant, your answers will be relevant. So, and what's the point of this AI agent, right? So, if it's like in 50% of time, it returns you something completely irrelevant or wrong. So that's how this um, reliability works, right? So and why people not trust the AI agents nowadays because it's not because this like framework or this like LLMs are not like trusted enough, but because we just didn't spend enough time to make these systems perfect.
So, Evgeny, at this point, we talk about the futures, the predictions, and a question I have for you is, what is the long-term mission of GuidedMind.ai?
I think it's kind of I try to put it to company name. So I try to build a tool which will be guided, transparent, and we will have opportunity to look to LLM not like a or AI agent, not like a black box, but we'll have tools which will give us all those instruments to precisely configure it and debug it and test it so all at once. That's, I think, a primary goal for Guided Mind AI. So RAG is a framework for AI agents, so help with retrieval, but it's definitely different kind of ways how you can guide mind. So you might build kind of like workflows, for example, and at some point, maybe I will also focus on this and try to innovate in this area.
And where can our listeners find about your work or connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can first find me on LinkedIn. So I believe my profile, a link to my profile will be added, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you want to look to this tool I've been working on, RAG as a service, Guided Mind AI, so you also can go to our website and we have two buttons there. You can try it for free or you can schedule a demo. So it depends what you will be like more convenient with.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Evgeny, for spending time with us talking about retrieval, this space, and how fast this space is evolving. Listeners, this was ShipTalk Podcast. I'm your host, Dewan, sponsored by Harness, the AI native software delivery platform. We'll link Evgeny's LinkedIn in the podcast descriptions as well as guidedmind.ai, and you can connect with him and follow his work. Tune in for the next episode.